Hi guys, how's it going? So today's video is all about getting into the best triangle. Okay, so over many years of practicing triangle, a few years of teaching to classes, to students, I've kind of noticed different things along the way about how I used to come into triangle, but also how other people, students in class, come into triangle. And there's a couple of things that I've noticed that I think we could improve on, and I've sort of come up with a way to come into triangle so that we're really making full effect of the pose and really working the body as we should be. So triangle predominantly is working the upper body, it's working the torso. Okay, so yeah, it's working the legs as well, it's working the arms, the neck, but mainly it's to work the upper body. So a real good strengthening, bit of a twist going on as well. Okay, so let's come up to standing. So firstly, I'll just talk you through the foot stance. So it's important to get the feet right before we even try and go into triangle. So we've got the front foot facing forward, and then we've got the feet about a leg width apart. Okay, and then the front heel is in line with the arch of the back foot. So imagine a line going from the heel to the arch of the back foot, and that means we've got our feet in the right place. Okay, so the next bit is to have the hips facing sideways. So a common thing, because you've got the front foot facing forward, a common issue that I see is that we start to sort of put the hips a bit slanty. Yeah, so we really want to get both hips to face the side. Okay, all right. So a couple of things that I've noticed in class where I think people might be slightly not doing it correctly, and I say that in the nicest possible way. Okay, so I will see this in our classes. So a lot of people will just they'll just tilt the body. So we'll just go, there we go, and we're in the pose. Okay, all right. So now with that, we're just tilting the body and we're not really using the body, the upper body, to its full effect. So we're not working the whole of the torso here. We're just sort of slanting. Okay, tilting. Okay, the next thing that I see a lot in classes is where the student tries to get their hand really far down. So as far down, because they think going into a pose, going really far down with the right hand, that means I'm in the better pose, that I'm working better in the pose. So we see a lot of people kind of doing this. So trying to get that hand down to the ground, even on the lower leg, and then they're like that. So I don't know if you can see, but it sort of does things to the hips, which is not the best really. So the right hip starts to come back. We then get those slanty hips again, rather than the hips sort of being all the way to the side for both hips. So we get that. And you sort of feel great. You think, oh, I'm getting down to the floor. This is great. I'm doing well in this pose. But actually, it's not working the upper body as we want it to. Okay. So I'll come up with a way that I think, hopefully visually, I'll be able to sort of explain to you the best way to come into a pose. So what we want to do when we're going into triangle with our upper body is we're going to lengthen up through the spine, so lengthening up, and then we're going to come up and over. So we're almost sort of extending the hips, the ribs out, and then coming up and over. Okay, so that's kind of how I was taught in my teacher training. But I think an extension of that is to really visualise how the body is looking. So if you think lengthening up and then coming up and over. Okay, so up and then over. So sort of an arch, rather than just a tilt, it's an arch. And when we're in the pose, we're still working that arch. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to go into the pose fully here. Okay, so inhale, reaching up, going up and over, and then bringing the body down. Okay, so now I'm in the posture, I'm still working the upper body. So it feels like I'm still coming out of the hips. I'm still working to go over. All right, so once we're in triangle, we're kind of just letting this right hand rest on the inside of the right leg here. So you can put the hand on the leg, but again, you're then taking some of the weight so that the upper body isn't working as hard then. So the best way is to just let the right hand rest on the inside of the leg. We're always keeping those hips pushing forward. So again, keeping those hips to the side, pushing forward. And then the left arm is reaching up to the sky. And then the left hand is sort of being drawn over the face. So you should be able to see or look straight up at your left thumb. Now we're in this posture, we're really working the upper body. So this is the main thing for this posture, is the upper body. But I still feel like I'm coming out of the hips and I'm coming over. So again, just visualizing that shape, that sort of curve shape as we come in. And then to come out, we're going to look back down at the front foot and then inhale the arms back to shoulder height. And then exhale the arms down. Okay. All right, so next time you try and go into a triangle, just try those few steps. So we're coming, get the foot stance right first. Hips to the side, equally. We're always pushing the hips forward, and then when we go into the pose, we want to go up and over. Okay, and we're constantly working that upper body. I can feel my upper body really working all the way through. So yeah, try those, maybe even try the ones that I said probably don't work as well, so you can see the difference between what doesn't work so well and what I think is the best way to come into triangle, so that you're really working the upper body as it should be working in triangle. Okay, all right guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.